He said it smoked on startup. Let's see. I don't see any smoke. It needs a tilt wheel. See that? Oh man, it ain't easy to get into. There's a college in Texas called Texas A&M or Texas Agricultural or Mechanical or whatever you want to call it. And their colors are maroon and white. So I think, well, there's a college parking sticker in there from 86, 87 and a license plate. Because those Aggies are proud of going to that college. So I think they dyed this red, they dyed the carpet red, and then they added all, well, maroon. This was all supposed to be maroon. And they added all this for college spirit stuff, affiliation, I don't know. The good part is it kept the steering wheel from degrading. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting through the threads and then it'll pull apart. I don't know how they got this on here, but they did a really good job of not screwing anything up. This probably just split due to age. But we can probably glue it back together. And then the next thing is this. So the owner made his own shift knob. Out of something. It looks like plastic that was painted, but that gets rid of this shift boot. And the shifter's a little tall, but we'll screw with that later too. Only one tear in the vinyl. It's not that big a deal. We can fix that. Holy shit! Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is happening. I bought a Fiat Technically not a Fiat, but you know, technically a Bertone. So this is a 84 X19, production 1183. Story goes, a little old lady bought it brand new from California and kept it in the garage in College Station. They drove it to college, their kid drove it to college, and then it just kind of sat. It has 60,000 miles on it. I picked it up Monday from a shop up there, and then, God damn, whisper quiet, that fucking compressor. I picked it up from the shop on Monday. It was at a local shop up there getting prepped for sale, I guess. And this is all Matt's fault at Vic Auto, because I was talking to him at the anniversary party, and a couple days later he sent me this. So, you know, it happens. But I've always had a little soft spot for these cars. I think they're cool looking, you know, 80s Italian wedge, like the Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and all the other stuff they were doing back then. It's a respray on the paint job, but it's decent. There's some paint chips, but that's to be expected. I haven't found any severe rust to speak of yet, but I haven't given it a thorough evaluation either. It runs. I drove it home from the shop. The mechanic said that the valve seals are leaking and then it blows smoke when you first start it up, but to be honest, it's not that bad. But it's something that we'll fix later, right? So first I'll take you on a little tour of the car, show you the car, and then we'll get into the, you know, the meat of it. So this is storage area. This is where the top goes. Fits in here for when you're running without a top. And then there's plenty of room underneath. So if you're going to the grocery store with the top on, you got plenty of storage for groceries and stuff. Maybe even a suitcase to take a little trip. The battery's from 2018. It's holding a charge, but it's low. This is for brake and clutch. And you can see here, this is overspray of the primer when they were spraying the car to prime it, so we can clean that off. And the hood latch cable is broken. So don't close the hood all the way until we get a replacement cable. So yes, the interior is a little funky, right? It's a big football college, and their colors are maroon and white. So this carpet was dyed maroon along with the door cards. There was a shift boot lever cover and a steering wheel cover. And I took all that off. The carpet looks to be in pretty good shape. It's just got this funky color on it. And then it's dirty. So, you know, we'll pull that out. See what we can do with it. I don't know about these door cards. This is actual leather, not vinyl, I think. It feels like leather. But we'll do something with that. 5-speed. Car's equipped with air conditioning. Of course, it doesn't work right now, but it will. We will have air conditioning. Power windows. Clarion radio with cassette that works. So over here is where you access the trunk and the hood for the engine cover, right? Trunk, engine cover. And it's pretty clean. I mean, there's some dirt. There's some dirt down in here. But Hey man, no rust. There's some surface rust on this panel. And we'll just take it off, sand it, spray it, put it back. Clean up underneath it when it's time. A little bit of debris down there, but nothing too bad. So this is the 1.5 liter single overhead cam fuel injected motor. And like I said earlier, it's a California car, so it's got some different emission stuff on there. We'll have to first figure out what it is and where it goes. One of the strangest things is there's a fan over there in the trunk that blows air through this tube onto the exhaust manifold, and it comes on when you turn the car off. So here's something for current owners. So this is just a little pocket, and you can see that's rusted in there because it was holding water. Down on the very bottom there's a drain hole, and it was plugged, so all the water was filling up in here. So there's surface rust on here. It's not too bad. I think it's just from when it was parked outside at the garage, but we'll have to take all of this off. I cleaned it out yesterday and drained all the water out, but we're gonna have to take all this off, go in here and, you know, clean it and treat the surface with some rust resistant paint. And down here, this is all covered with oil. It's not too severe, but it's also not good either. On this side we have an air filter over here. This is fuel management for the fuel injection. And you can't really see it. But down here is slave cylinder for the clutch. So we have a hydraulic operated clutch. There's a little bit of oil coming down over here. So far it runs, and it runs pretty good. Yesterday all I did was some messing around with a throttle cable because it wasn't adjusted right. You weren't getting full throttle. So there's an adjuster here, and then there's an adjuster on the other side. And when you use the cable, I mean, it's pretty tough, but when you can manipulate the cable by hand. So I don't know where the binding's coming up. I adjusted this. I adjusted the clutch a little bit. I need to check the timing. So on this car, you don't read the timing off the front. You can see the 0510. Gonna read timing off the flywheel. Check this out. That is an actual bell being dinged. Not the buzzer, but a real live mechanical bell. Thought that was kind of cool. Probably going to keep that. So we have a running, driving car that needs work. You need to have a plan and an order for your restoration, maintenance, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. Suspension's a little wonky up front. It could be the tires, need to be balanced. There's there's probably flat spots on the tires from sitting for so long. But still, there's a little bit of wonk in there. Let's get it up in the air. We'll pull the tires off and do some evaluations.